this final part of my discussion with Matt gets a little more personal and you get a little bit more insight into what I'm currently doing, what he's currently doing, and some of our future plans. So I hope you enjoy this last segment of our interview, and I'll see you afterwards.
Yeah, it definitely takes, you know, it's a choice to be in the relationship in the first place. So if you
Mm.
didn't want to be there, you could, I guess, leave. But that's kind of like taking an easy way out as well because you decided to be there in the first place.
Yeah.
So, and I'm also looking forward to, growing with this girl as well, like you have been able to and have experienced the inspiration that comes from being with somebody that you love. So I think that's something that I'm also looking forward to in the
Mm.
coming years. But I also don't will counter the bad with the good. I don't want to just have like a say, oh, it was all harder to stay on my purpose. But I also think it was easier in the sense, especially being in college right now. And when this is a time where people are saying like, oh, my parents always say like, don't take things too seriously and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think it's a lot easier to spend all my focus on this one girl rather than having my energy all around the place trying to chase a bunch of girls
Mm.
around because it's college and that's kind of like
Yeah.
what you do at that time or whatever. So I
Mm.
think it's helped me stay a little bit more focused in terms of conserving my energy just directed towards one person rather than me every weekend trying to have to go out and find another
Yeah.
girl or whatever. But I think that's one of the biggest positives as well for me currently has been not having to spend like throw my energy all around because I've been able to just by spending it on one person just spend a lot more of my other energy on focusing on my purpose and getting good grades and stuff like that.
Mm. Yeah. No, I think that's a really, yeah, healthy approach for it. So yeah. Well, what are you what are you studying?
So I'm in the business school here at Pitt, and
Okay.
I am studying finance. I'm doing a dual degree in finance and business information systems.
Oh,
So
nice.
like
Yeah.
some tech and then some just like finance stuff. I'm not trying to be an investment banker though because I've already thought about that and it just doesn't seem worth it. Even though they
Mm.
get paid a lot, they get paid a lot.
Yeah, I
What do
imagine.
you currently do?
So
I'm interested.
I studied accounting. I actually didn't go to university after high school. I just basically bummed around, and I had a period of probably 3 or 4, probably about 4 years actually, where I just either job hopped or tried like different businesses or different sort
Hmm.
of hobbies, and that's when I first started doing YouTube actually. um,
Okay.
Mixed in all there, and then yeah, finally decided to get my life together. And yeah, by the time I actually did go to university, I just did something I did have an interest in it. I wouldn't say it was just some boring topic that I randomly picked, but I picked accounting just because I was interested in finance, economics, all that sort of thing. So studied that, and I did a CPA after that. And yeah, I currently
Hmm.
work in finance in for government. So yeah,
Okay.
nice sort of stable, secure job. Being able
Hmm.
to just save a whole heap and do responsible things and investments and make good choices. So
Hmm.
yeah.
I'm interested for your long term. Do you see yourself staying in that job for a while, or are you eventually trying to get out of there?
Oh, at least for the next 6 months. Yeah, I've stayed in the same field, but I've probably had maybe 4 different jobs over the last like 3 years.
Hmm.
Just because a lot of government contracts here in Australia are like they're only for like 6 to 12 months at a time, and then you
Yeah.
basically are forced to line up something else unless you get
Hmm.
a permanency. I do have permanency, but it's not in a position that I would willingly go back to. So I'm
Okay.
constantly looking to upskill and to sort of climb up to the next level.
Hmm.
And yeah, eventually, because I've done the whole, tried to start up different business ventures and
Yeah.
investments and all the stuff, and none of it's ever really worked. I
Mm,
wouldn't say I've given up on doing it. I would love to, and that's part of the reason I guess I started doing YouTube again, just to see if I can
mm,
have a crack at, I guess, developing an audience and maybe turn it into a business of some sorts. But yeah, I'm not putting my eggs in that basket because I know the chances of success are so minuscule. But
mm,
um, yeah, you never know. And I think, just even just developing, relationships and contacts like this, it's good being able to, meet other people and sort of get more perspectives and just sort of increase your knowledge base. And, if you make friends along the way, same with, going to the gym and stuff like that, you get into it for selfish reasons, but you end up developing a lifelong hobby and you meet people along the way. And yeah, it all just becomes part of the journey.
mm.
Mm.
And that's kind of why I asked, is just because with the whole self-improvement thing, entrepreneurship is always, for some reason, like always part of
Lumped
that.
in there with
Everybody's
it.
like start on, yeah, exactly. So
It's
that's why
not
I was
for
just
everyone.
wondering if you that was your plan.
Yeah, no, it's real. It's not for everyone. And
Mm,
I was probably quite immature when I first got into it. I didn't really have the life experience that I do now. So if I was to do it again, I'd do it really differently than how I did. And
mm,
I do plan on making videos about it in the future, but some of the stories are pretty embarrassing and not something that I look back on happily. So yeah, probably in the future I'll talk about it a bit more when I get the
mm,
courage. But um, yeah, I'm perfectly happy just like doing the responsible thing. I've got a lot of um, like investment stuff that I'm working on, and I think you might have
mm.
seen the video where I flipped the BMW, made
Yeah, the
some money on
BMW.
that. Yeah,
Mm,
and I've in the process of selling a house at the moment, so probably going to clear about $90,000 on that.
nice.
And yeah, so like I'm always sort of looking for like just stuff like that, but things that don't necessarily involve a huge amount of time and
Mm,
active effort on my part. So,
yeah,
um, and yeah, my wife's really into that sort of thing as well. So we're really on the same page when it comes to a lot of these things. She's probably even more proactive than I am actually. I like looking for these sort of opportunities. So, because yeah, we've both got plans to have early retirement, so we want to
mm,
really, you know, stick to that and uh, yeah, work on it long term. Yeah.
yeah. And I would say that even just doing things like that, where you're just like flipping stuff on the side and looking for these
Mm.
investment opportunities, is still entrepreneurship in itself. It doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily have to mean that you're starting up your own business. So
Mm.
I think you're still kind of keeping that spirit alive through what you're doing.
Yeah, definitely. Mm.
I hope you enjoyed the final part of our 6 piece series between the back and forth of my channel and Matt's channel, and hope you enjoyed just the discussion that we had. I thought it was really insightful, and I really enjoyed getting to know Matt, getting to hear a little bit about his perspective as being someone who's a little bit older than I am and a little bit further along in terms of his life and maybe even his own perspective of his self improvement journey and outlook on the red pill, etc. So if you have missed any parts of the interview, of the discussion, definitely check out the playlist that I'll leave right here where you could find all 6 parts. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. And remember to stay on target.